My opinion of Woolworths is it's a corporate monstrosity. It actually, the only bound it has is money. The whole idea of shareholder value is really wrong. There's no social responsibility in that attitude at all. We need our government to protect us.
The Woolies whole thing is an example of big business, big government getting together and rooting us.
They don't listen somehow to the people, and they just sort of have their money. It's just about money, really.
What worries me about Woolworths is that they just have to keep expanding and they really don't care about small Australian towns. And I really wonder if there's any Australia going to be left after they've finished plundering all little towns in Australia.
I don't understand why they would continue to apply and push it when it's already been said no by council, no by the sewage, no by the people.
Woolworths is destroying community in small towns all over Australia. Their argument is profit. They want market domination. I actually believe that they are the biggest poker machine operator in Australia, and I asked them, is prostitution next?
We've got Woolies wanting to sell us their petrol, their liquor. They'll be into pharmaceuticals soon, plus food, everything. They're wanting to capture every dollar of people in these small communities. That means we're going to not have a local economy there.
I love Mullum because it's a community town, and when Woolworths come in, they're going to put a lot of local businesses out of action.
How do they do that?
They lower their prices, and when they put the local shops out of action, then they increase their prices and people actually end up paying more.
It's very difficult for local councils to battle giants like Woolworths, who find these dodgy consultants to convince them that it's perfectly fine to build on a sewer. The state government has no idea really of how rural communities operate.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea.
Why is
good
that?
To see it go ahead.
Yeah.
I think it'll be good for the community,
Right.
and bring prices down. And I think also the business district will benefit from it too. Normally a small business benefits from a big supermarket coming in.
I think it increases the competition in town. The prices in Mullum, in my opinion, are rather exaggerated. I think the more competition, the better it is for the local public.
There's very small margins on which people operate their businesses in Mullumbimby.
But also that money that gets paid into Woolworths goes out of the community.
Well, our town has got such a community and it's got such a really good feeling about it, and these big multinational companies just take away from that local feel. That's why people come here and that's why people live here.
My thought about Woolies is we have to be careful how the process of monopoly is going to take over.
We've got fabulous farmers markets here where people get direct from the growers, buy from a real farmer, not from a computer checkout. The employment's a real furphy.
When Woolworths come, they're going to have 9 automatic checkouts and 1 person to oversee the lot. So the people who believe there are going to be lots of jobs here might have a little bit of a shock.
I think just the whole beauty of this town as well, being a small country town, to have a big Woolworths there as you come into town, just destroy the specialness of it. It's so rare to have a little country town like this.
Everyone I've spoken to about it, and that includes shop owners, they're not real happy about it.
No, it's going to help the local businesses because already more than 60% of people are leaving this town to shop at big shopping complexes, up at Tweed Heads and wherever. So the local people are suffering now at the moment.
I don't think it's going to hurt anybody. Yep. Okay. To all the tree huggers, tough luck.
I'm very happy with my local grocer and my local fruit and vegetable shop, and I'm really disappointed that they're going to put Woolworths in a town that doesn't really want it.
Just means that they have big business at heart and not local people who actually live in the town and have to deal with consequences.
The worst thing about this is their on-site sewerage.
I would be more supportive if they'd have chosen an industrial site like our industrial estate and not a floodplain.
A long time ago when this was mooted, I wondered why Woolies didn't apply to have their building at the industrial estate.
Woolies should go to the industrial estate.
Right.
and then it's already elevated.
Right.
Okay, so it would be really good over there because we could have Woolies without feeling guilty. Wouldn't take away the shops that we got here. They could have a few extra shops. Could be a whole new little town.
Look at IGA in the Byron industrial estate. Nobody kicked up a fuss there. If they'd been a little bit more subtle, they probably wouldn't have had this difficulty. And I just think the building is so inappropriate for this little town. I think it'll just change the character, and I'm really disappointed.
That was approved in a way that I thought was very suspicious. I didn't like the way they did that at all. A lot of people here thought it was off.
I think that there is corruption, and I don't think there is corruption. It would be based by the state government on the valid information that's given to them.
I just think it's a total scandal. I think it was all done corruptly.
I think in reality every country has a corruption level, just some are more obvious than others, and it's all about money in the end. If you can pay, you can get whatever you want, doesn't matter where you are.
It's appalling. It's completely appalling. I'm personally interested in the whole idea of maybe doing away with the state government altogether. It just seems we don't get any joy from them at all. The
site that they've picked has been claimed to be a bog and a horse paddock. From residents that have been in the town as long as I have, I've never seen water over that site and flooding, and that's claimed to be one of the effects that will occur. The hydrologists, so-called hydrologists, that have claimed that the water table is only a foot or so below the surface. Whether that's correct or not, I doubt it, because there's a metre drain along the roadside in front of it that very rarely has any more than a foot or so of water.
It's a residential area. Well, as soon as Woolies start building, there'll be noise, there'll be more traffic, there'll be trucks. The safety and amenity of the area will be totally wrecked. And the fact that it was allowed to go ahead it's just scandalous.
And I feel that it's a great shame that a large building of that nature would be built adjacent to what I think should be actually a heritage street, and I don't know if the residents there have applied for heritage listing, but in any other place in cities you wouldn't be able to build such inappropriate buildings in a heritage streetscape.
There's only one thing that I feel that Woolworths have done, is that they've picked a site which does have problems.
The local council refused it. They said, no, that won't work.
State government have just ignored the main wishes of most of the people in Mullum. I think the majority don't want it.
So they went to the Department of Planning, and Christina Keneally approved it. I won't say anything about vampires here.
And I think that's just to show that the democracy is just a smokescreen here, because we can't have a say over our own backyard.
Local council had to approve the on-site sewage, and they said no. So Woolworths said, we don't like this, we'll take you to the Land and Environment Court. We'll challenge your decision in the Land and Environment Court.
I don't think the problem's going to be the sewage. Woolworths are not that stupid that they're going to stick it on a block where it's going to be flood prone and, there's going to cause further problems.
I reckon that plan's been revised at least 20 times.
I think that there's been a lot of false information distributed about the site for Woolworths and what Woolworths will do.
Department of Planning, as well as the Land and Environment Court, seem to be favouring Woolworths and ignoring our local council, ignoring the community opinions. I'm not happy with the way there seems to be a corporate takeover of government of this country.
May they rot in hell.
Just leave us alone.
Sometimes I think that Woolworths haven't purposefully taken Mullumbimby on as like, let's take on those alternatives as they took them on in Maloney.
Well, hopefully the people of Mullumbimby will be smart enough not to actually shop there, and there will be no impact.
We like to shop locally and buy locally, and so all in all you might save $12 a year. I don't reckon that's worth the community.